Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a very steamy, hot episode of episode 138 of the Two-Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
I'm hiding steam monkey pads. I put this thing of ice down there. The air has gone out in the Pool House recording studios. So
it's a brisk 89 degrees in here.
Not bad. Could be 90. So if you see us wiping away sweat throughout the entire podcast, that's why. We have a bucket of ice down under there. If you want to just put your legs near it.
Sink.
I don't know if it's working or if it's just going to melt.
Just suck all the heat out of the air.
Oh,
that should
God.
work.
The joys of home ownership. Hey, if this is the first time you're seeing us, thank you guys so much for being here. This is the Two-Player Co-op Podcast, where every week we get together with two brothers to talk about everything you need to know in the world of video games. Talk about everything going on in our lives, what we've been playing, the news of the week, and this week, our predictions / hopes and dreams for E3 2019.
Mostly hopes and dreams.
Yeah, mostly hopes and dreams. If this is the first time you're seeing us or if you're listening to us on audio services, make sure you go over to youtube.com/2playercoop, hit the like button on the video, hit the subscribe button. It helps us out a lot. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs this year. That would mean the world to us if you would do that. Thank you. If you like merch, you can get some of ours at teespring.com/stores/2playercoop. We have a Twitch page. Whenever we Twitch, we'll Twitch, but we're not twitching, so I'm not even going to say anything about it. If you didn't know, now if you go to the pinned tweet on our Twitter page over at 2player_co-op on Twitter, we've got it pinned there. You can click the little tiny, is it a 10? I think I did a tiny URL.
Yeah, I believe so.
Click the tiny URL link and you can submit any questions that you have to the podcast if you want us to talk about anything in the world of video games, and we will answer them just like James Solar did. Our buddy James Solar says... Kevin, you should have had it ready, is what he says. James Solar says, I'm currently replaying the Arkham series, and I really enjoyed Arkham Origins when leisurely playing. It seems to be a very controversial game. All the reviews are 15 to 20 points lower than the other games in the series. I think it's just as good as the others in the series, except that it recasts Joker and Batman. How would y'all rank the Arkham games? Does Origins receive unnecessary hate? Is there something I'm missing? James Solar. He said, P.S. Kevin, I'm replaying Arkham Knight soon. I might come around and say it's not as good as City. Hopefully you will, because it's definitely not. Sean. I am the only one out of the two of us that have played all four.
I've played 3. Barely.
I was going to say 2 1/4.
Yeah. 2 1/10.
My definitive ranking is very easy to me. It's Arkham City is about a 9.5. Arkham Asylum is a 9. Arkham Origins is about an 8.5. Arkham Knight is about a 7.
I thought you were going lower there.
It's a very good. It's like there's such a good game. If you take out
Bat Tank,
it's like a 9.5 or a 10. Like it's what I wanted it to be. It is that good. But it's you can't get past all the Bat Tank crap and the Bat Tank bosses and all this other stuff.
Do I remember you saying that all the boss fights are Bat Tank fights?
I believe every single boss fight is a tank battle.
That's stupid.
You've got
how would you do that?
You got a bunch of so one of the times you fight the Arkham Knight, spoiler alert, down in the sewers is you're driving your Bat Tank and he's got this like Ninja Turtle
like Rat
transport module thing, and he's like drilling through the sewers and he's chasing you and you're running away from him, and then you get away, and then he comes from this other side and you run away from him, and then you got to I don't even know what you got to do because it's so stupid. The only regular boss fights I can remember when you actually fight the Arkham Knight, it's not even a boss fight, it's a boss situation where he's got all his goons down here and he's hiding up on some of those like gargoyles and stuff, and you got to stealth your way up to him, and you get to him 3 times and you beat him. You don't ever actually fight him. It's just like find a way to stealth to him and then you beat him. And it's cool because in the end game, then you see that Deathstroke was behind it all, blah, blah, blah. I'm finally going to get to fight Deathstroke like I did in Arkham Origins, which is the best boss fight in any Arkham game, period. And then he's in a tank with like 40 drone tanks coming at you. All you do is you're in the Bat Tank and you're strafing side to side. You've got these drones, and it's good. Batman doesn't kill anybody, right? So it's okay because these tanks are manned by AI, I guess, and they're just so you shoot rockets at them and you blow them up, and it's all like you strafe back and forth. Dude, it is the most monotonous waste of a great game that I can remember. It is one of my most disappointing games of all time.
You're a little sweaty.
I'm a little sweaty.
That sounds... Ugh, yeah.
It's so frustrating because it is so freaking... There is so... The story there is great. Everything they do with... Because the Joker died in Arkham City, spoiler alert. But he's back in Arkham Knight, and the way they do it is so freaking cool and so well done. Like, whenever you're not in the tank, the game is amazing. It's the best Arkham game. But then you have to get in the tank so many times. You have to do platforming sections in the tank.
Is everything after Asylum, like, open world?
Yes.
So they're all basically
Origins
like
is too, yeah.
Arkham City.
Yep.
Okay.
Origins does get a bad rap. I love Origins. If that would have said Rocksteady on it instead of WB Montreal, it would be right up there with the other 2, 3, depending on how you rated them all.
Because you think it would have been a better game, or you think everybody's reviewing it lower? So why is it? What is different about that you rated it lower? Like, why is it not? Because you rated it lower than Asylum.
Yeah, Asylum, because I just replayed that like 4 or 5 months
ago.
So
how is Asylum
great.
better?
Everything in Asylum is great until you get to that final boss fight against the Joker, which the Joker should never be a boss fight in any Batman game. It doesn't make any sense, especially when he injects himself with the Venom, whatever that was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When
See,
I
to
played,
me, like, I
Arkham
haven't played.
Origins does have some jank to it. Now, I played it like day one when it came out. The reviews were lower because a lot of people were saying it didn't have the polish of the Rocksteady crew that would do to a Batman game.
Yeah.
And I saw that there were a lot of times where I had weird graphical hitches and like Batman's thing would do this and like long loading times and weird stuff like that. But like the actual core gameplay is the same as the other two. The story in it is great. It's not at all what they sold you. It is not about Black Mask, and it is about Black Mask, and he's putting out the hit $10 million if somebody kills Batman on New Year's Eve, or $25 million, whatever it was. It's so much more than that. It is not an origin for Batman. It's an origin for someone else as well, and that is so well done. And they recast it like Troy Baker plays the Joker just as good as Mark Hamill. Who the hell played Batman? Because it wasn't what's-his-face that was Batman or the animated series. It wasn't Conroy. It wasn't Kevin Conroy. It was somebody else. It might have even been Clark, the guy that was the, what's his name? The guy that was the main character in Red Dead 2. I can't remember.
Oh.
But he sounded just like Kevin Conroy, so that was nothing. But like Troy Baker's take on the Joker was freaking awesome. That game, it probably has my favorite story out of all the Arkham games, but the jank, if you will, takes it down a couple notches. So yeah, maybe it is that if Rocksteady would have been the ones to make it, it wouldn't have had that jank. It wouldn't have had like a freaking Bethesda game. It wasn't that bad, but
so if it had the polish and the overall quality, the build quality of the Rocksteady games, is it better than City or no?
I don't think so.
Still no.
City is like superhero perfection. That and Spider-Man are like neck and neck for me.
Yeah.
Also, I lost it. I had it and then I lost it. Oh, they didn't reinvent anything. And it was also weird that you had some of the power-ups that you had in Arkham City. Like, this is a origin game. This is a prequel. You have a lot of the same power-ups you have in Arkham City, but didn't have in Arkham Asylum. So that was weird.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like that kind of stuff. It was just, it wasn't the complete package like it should have been. Poor Buddy's got to go inside. It's too hot. Tell me about it, Buddy. But yeah. Now, you've only played fully
Asylum and
City and Asylum and a little bit of Night, and then you're like, nah, I ain't got time for this.
And it's been, I don't know, probably 5 years or so since I played them. And I have a hair. There it is. It was like stuck between my teeth. I got it out. It's been a while since I played them, but when I think back to them, I almost think of Asylum as being better.
A lot,
or at least enjoying it more, because it just fit. I don't know. To me, it just was a better setting. I don't think City added anything that valuable and that noteworthy by being so big and open world. I'm like, it just doesn't need to be. Now, Spider-Man needs that.
Yes,
If you can't have
if
you have like an asylum version of Spider-Man, it doesn't really work. But I don't think it's been so long, I don't really remember like what boss fights are in what. But I don't necessarily think of City as being that much, if any, better than Asylum.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I replayed Asylum 4 or 5 months ago. I want to replay City at some point this year because I got the Return to Arkham collection when it was on sale for like $8 or whatever a few months ago.
Yeah.
There's a lot. It is probably not even a 50-50 split. I'd say it's like 60-40 people say that Asylum is better.
Really?
Yep.
Oh,
because they just think the whole Metroidvania, the small space of Arkham Asylum, and you get outside of the asylum and you go on the island a little bit.
To me, it's just different. I feel like so many games now. If you ask me, Spider-Man perfected it. Maybe you make the argument Grand Theft Auto perfected it, whatever. But like that, just open world in a city, like everybody does that now. Everybody. Yeah. There's not really. Asylum controls and plays very similarly to City. It's just not as open world. It's not as open, period. But like, it just felt different. I can't think of another game. I can tell you probably 10 games like that are more or less just like Arkham City. I couldn't really tell you any off the top of my head that are like Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
They're all great. I mean, except Night. Like, you can add in the freaking Batmobile, you can add in the Bat Tank and just do some sections with it. You don't have to base the whole freaking game around it. Whereas there's some of the bosses, some like the Rogues Gallery, you know how you hunt them down? Like, there's so many enemies in that, but you know what you do? You chase them in the freaking Bat Tank. Like, you're chasing like, Firefly around the city. Like, what the frick
What if in
doing?
Spider-Man, all of the boss fights, you were like Peter Parker, and you had to just like walk around and like do stuff on a computer.
Do
like
puzzles.
what if the game was exactly the same, but all the boss fights were this weird, just not anywhere near as fun part of the game, and that's what they made all the boss fights. Like, why would you do that?
Why? Exactly. Especially coming off of Origins, which no matter what you think about Origins, the jank, all that other stuff, Deathstroke shines above everything else, but all the other boss fights in that were so good. And then you go from that to tanks. Just tanks.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we wanted...
Tanks a lot.
Yeah, tanks a lot for that. We wanted to drive the Batmobile. We didn't want the whole game to be driving the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Freaking idiots. Stupid idiots. So, Solar, I hope that answers your question. I can't wait for you to replay Night and tell me how it's not as good as the other three. What's up?
Oh, you know.
Melton. It's really hot.
It is quite hot out here. I have that like back of the knee sweat going on.
Oh yeah, you feel like you can't even bend your knees because it's just like dripping down your unmentionables.
Yep.
Anything else you want to cover? Did you ever go see Aladdin?
I did not.
We're gonna go. We're gonna take the boys to see it. I don't know when.
I want to. It's one of those things that like I want to see. I don't know that I will.
Yeah.
I just don't know when I'm gonna. And that happens to me a lot with like movies. There's a lot of movies that I'm like, I need to see that, and I'll see it. Or it's like, I would see that. It's gonna take Brittany coming up to me and saying, "We're not doing anything today. Do you want to go see Aladdin?" And I'd be like, "Okay," but like, I don't want to see it enough to actually pursue, like, to make it happen.
Yeah.
One of my buddies, he saw it and said it was great. Not, it's the cartoon is still superior and whatever, but like he said it was really good. So I don't know. I've heard both. I mean, really the worst things that I've heard about it are just that it's not as good as their cartoon. And I don't think many people expected it to be.
If you expect it to be as good as the cartoon, you're crazy. Now, I will say, though, I do expect Lion King to be as good, if not almost better.
I sometimes I feel like just deleting Twitter. But I just came across, I don't even remember who, somebody commented on something, or I don't even remember how I got, it was Alana. Alana commented on this thing, so I saw the original post on my feed. Apparently it's this big thing, at least on Twitter, which, whatever.
Best place for sane opinions.
Yeah, there's all these people who are just hating on the Lion King and why do all the lions look the same and blah blah blah, and it's not a real life thing, so why are you trying to make all the lions look like actual lions? You could at least make them look different and actually be able to show
if
some
they made them look like
emotion.
cartoons, it would be the reverse of Sonic. Everybody would be
It's so
bitching for the
stupid.
other
Like-
reason. It's just freaking.
Of all the things that like you would see and you would think there's no way anybody could hate this, that
I cried.
anybody could have anything bad to say about this, I would have thought that is this new Lion King.
Yeah.
At least what we know. If you see it and it ends up being weird for some reason, okay. But what we've seen so far,
The trailer's perfect.
how anybody can see that and be like, this looks stupid, like, I quit. If that is not universally enjoyed by people, then I don't see how anything could be.
Yeah, I think the boys want to go see Aladdin. What I've heard from a lot of people is the movie's good. The problem with the movie is not Will Smith, either in human form or genie form. The problem is, like I said when I first saw the trailer, Jafar is super weird. Like, it doesn't make any sense. He's not good. Like Jeremy Johns was saying, now if they actually make a live-action remake of Return of Jafar or whatever the direct-to-video movie was, maybe that would be good because like nobody really cares about Return of Jafar. So maybe he can make it his own, do whatever. But it's still so weird that they cast like a young, handsome guy like as Jafar is an old, gross wizard bad boy. Like that's why he wants the power, and he's at the end of his rope, and he's like, I gotta only one guy can enter the cave of wonders through whatever he says. Like.
Was that supposed to be Jafar?
No, that was the cave.
Oh, I was going to say, because you did a good cave impression, but I'm like, wait, is that Jafar?
But what does he say? Only the one, not one true king. What is it? What does he say?
Only the worthy one may enter.
I don't know.
It's pretty good. That's one of your better impressions.
Broforce.
it's the Broforce voice.
It's
Big Boss.
It's Big Boss with a
You just finally found the right character to make that voice work for.
I did. So
It's-
now
it's the
I know
Cave
that
of
voice
Wonders.
is.
Cave of Wonders.
I'm not gonna be able to talk if I do it again. So, anyways, what have you? I got nothing else to talk about. You got anything else to talk about?
What have I been playing?
Yeah.
I haven't played anything.
Okay.
The only thing I played, so all of a sudden I'm getting like super hype for Mario Maker
Really?
because I just keep getting sucked into these like Mario Maker videos on YouTube, and
Yeah.
it just looks like so much fun. And like, if I owned it, I mean, if I had a Wii U to begin with, like, I would have busted that out so long ago and started playing it again.
You can borrow Nick's on 3DS. He never plays it.
Yeah. But I can't wait for that. And so to get my fill, I loaded up Mario World on the Pi. And I don't know if I just haven't played it in a while. I don't know if it's the Pi, if it's a setting, if it's the controller, if
You got
it's
lag?
Mario World. It seems like there's lag, and it just seems very loose. And I feel like I'm like scooting all over the place. And
It's probably.
I've got my TV set to game.
Okay.
So I thought that would take care of it.
But there's a setting inside the Pi that I sent you forever ago, so you probably did do it. But if not, I'll try to find it. But
Maybe.
there's something where it like counteracts the lag a little bit.
But so I started playing that, and I'm like, I don't know what my I know what my end game was. I'm like, I'm gonna.
It didn't come on, freaking pass Avatar. I thought it would have
I
done
can't
it this weekend.
believe that.
It went into this weekend about 100 million short, which is a lot of money this late into the cycle. So it's going to
Yeah.
be neck and neck with it at the end.
I just kind of started playing it because I wanted like
Mario.
I wanted some Mario, yeah. And I got used to the controls and it was fine. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to play through this game. I just want to go and do like all the Star World. Because that's like the one thing I haven't done in a while. We
We're still
played
talking
through the
about
whole
World
game.
or something else? We're
Was
still
that-
talking about World?
World,
Okay.
yeah.
I thought you were going to say Yoshi's Island. I was going to.
Oh, I did play that a little bit, but I can't.
Okay, thank you. He's smart.
So I'm like, I know what I want to do. I want to get to all the Star World levels and do them. Because I haven't
Unlock it,
done
yeah.
that in a while. Well, there's
I've
Star
never
World,
done that.
and then there's like something else beyond that.
Yes.
There's like
You
Star
beat
World
Star
1, 2, 3,
World.
4, 5, and then you go on to like Super Star World. I
Yeah.
can't remember what it's called. So I'm like, that's what I want to do. And then I just kind of started playing, and I got to World 2. I went to the thing. the first level where you can get the cape, and you fly up and you get the key.
Yeah.
That takes you to the water level. The water level, there's also a key exit. That takes you to the ghost house. The ghost house, you fight King Boo or whatever, and then that gets you to Star World. And in my mind, you had to do that. There were several different ways, which there are, to get to Star Road or Star World or whatever it is. But once you're there, you can just beat the levels and just do all 5 of them. So
Right.
I'll just beat all 5 of them.
But you have to beat them, or you have to find a secret exit in each
You have to
one?
find the secret exit
Okay.
in all of them, but none of them are that difficult.
Okay.
So I got to like the 4th one, and I literally every time I play the pie, this happens. I screwed up with like the save thing, whatever.
You loaded instead of saving?
Oh, I know what I did. I went to a level because I wanted to just get a Yoshi and then leave to go to this next
Right.
level. So you do start select. But I did those two close to one another, which resets the
Reset
game.
the whole thing, yeah.
But I'm like, ugh.
When
But
did I save
luckily
it?
it saved when I beat the ghost house, which is right
Okay.
as I was going. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I can beat these first 3 levels super quick. So I got right back to where I was,
And did it again.
and I died again. I'm like, come on. And then I was like, this level shouldn't be this difficult, but I think it's the controls. I keep just dying stupidly. I'm like, let me just do a save state. Select L. That is load.
Mm-hmm.
So it loaded some random game I had back at level 1. I'm like, come on. I'm like, well, let me just reset. I'll just load my old game. But once I did that save state load,
It reset the whole ROM?
yeah. So now I don't even have the actual save file
you're not
in the
even
game.
in
So now
Star
I just
World.
quit after
Yeah.
that. So that was the extent of that. What else did I play? I played a little bit of Mario World 2. I'm like, no, I can't do this. I quit that quickly. I think there's something else I fired up briefly, but nothing that I was playing on there was sticking. And then, I don't know. But I think that's all I played. I didn't really play anything else.
I've still been marathoning The Office. I'll probably get through season 9 by the next time we podcast. I'm into
So
season
good.
9 now. I'm in like episode 8 or 9. I forget.
I was
whatever it
watching.
is.
It seems like there's always a marathon of it on Comedy Central.
Okay.
I was watching it before I came over, and it was season 5, and it was the knock knock KGB. The KGB would wait for no one.
It's true.
It's true.
So I've been marathoning that, but I did do a little bit more in God of War New Game Plus. I love this game so much. The funny thing is, so I've gotten far enough to where there are certain things that the weapon that you get later in the game is a fire weapon
Yes.
that can light on fire these bramble things that unlock ways to get you further in the game.
Black Betty.
Don't do it, Kevin. So when you've got that fire weapon this early in the game, because it's New Game Plus, you can burn the bramble things, but then you go over to like... But when you go over to it, there's a lock. Like there's a lock. Instead of like showing X, it shows a lock. So like, okay, we get it. You've got that weapon thing. That's fine. But you still can't go that way because that would break the game. You still have to follow the path. So that's good. I forgot about, I remembered that there was a dragon boss fight, and actually Corey Barlog liked my tweet. Thank you. Shout out to Corey. I forgot how freaking, like, there's not a lot of boss fights in God of War. There's the stranger, then there's what I just did. Then
The
you fight
giant.
the stranger like 2 more times, one of them with the giant with Thamer. And I forgot about the dragon, and I forgot how cool that fight was. Like, I remember, it's not even just the fight, it's the way you get to the fight, because it's where you get to you're going into the mountain, and you're going into the mines, and you do all this stuff, and then you finally get the big hook thing to grab the rock, and you ride it up, and things keep jumping on it, and you got to kill them, and then you get it loose, and then all of a sudden, when you think you're at the top, through the freaking, like, just dragon comes out of nowhere, and you fight him off, whatever, and then you get it loose, and you get up to the top, and then it's like when Kratos starts to really start trusting Atreus, and he's like, okay. And Atreus is like, no, let me help. And he's like, he can tell like he's ready. He's like, okay, go up there, wait for my mark. And you just have this freaking crazy boss fight with this dragon that, remember how you get the sap that like explodes?
Yeah.
So you get the sap and you throw it at him, and then he gets electrified and he goes, bah! And you run up and you hit him and everything. He's got all these different attacks, and he's just freaking huge. It's like, I remember going into this thinking, is this game going to be so personal and such a like small story that it's not going to have the epicness and the scale of the other God of Wars. And then I got to this dragon boss fight and was like, oh my freaking God.
Yeah.
And also I forgot how much I love Brock and Sindri. They're so, everybody in this is so well written. Like, this was the best written game of last year. I think the number 2 written game for me. It's not even Spider-Man, it's The Messenger. Like, just so well written, so funny, just so freaking good. But I love those guys. I finally got to the part where after you beat the dragon, you keep climbing up and you think you're going to get to the summit, and then you hear these voices talking to this guy in a tree. And it's just, it says man 1, man 2, and you don't know who they are yet. But the stranger's there now. It says what his name is, and you just wait for them to leave, and you go up there, and he's like, now I need you to cut off my head. And I remember, like, Trace is just like, oh my God, I can't watch this. And then you go back and you reanimate him. So that's how far I've gotten. I've gotten to the point where I took him back to the witch. He's reanimated. You find out what her name is. Didn't mean anything to me because I knew nothing about Norse mythology. If I would have known, I probably would have been like, oh. But then I got to the point, so you do that, and then you go up to the part where now you got to find the chisel, so you can do those the mirror things where you go, and that's how you get to a lot of the Valkyries and stuff. So I got to get the chisel, and you go up there, and it's Thamer's corpse. I'm like, man, I never thought it was going to play into what it did later in the game, you know? But like, and when I saw him, I was like, oh my God, the final boss fight in this is so freaking awesome. Like, I had completely forgotten. So, it's so good. I hope I beat it before Bloodstained comes out, which is the next game I'm going to play, which comes out June 18th. So as you're watching this, about 2 weeks away, give or take. It's so good. It's still right up there, like my number 3 favorite game of all time.
That's what I played. I played Castlevania 3.
Oh, that's right, because you were texting me about the pot. Yeah.
I got pretty far. I mean, not that far. I don't know how far I got, but I got Sifa. I don't know. I think I got to maybe like level 4 or something. I don't know. That's a great game, though.
So how did that do on the Pi with the lag and stuff? Did you notice it more in World?
I think I noticed it more in World because I feel like all those older Castlevania games always seem to have lag built into that. Like, it just seems very like stiff, and like I can like hit beep 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 beep, and he's like whoosh, whoosh. Like, it just seems so slow anyway to where it didn't seem to bother me that much. But like Mario, you need, you know, a lot of precise.
Yes,
I noticed it a lot in Mario World, but yeah, Castlevania 3. God, that game's so good.
Yeah,
and I didn't screw up with any save states in it.
That's good. I want to get the collection. I'm like, but I've got all the games. Why would I get the collection? But I was like, I just want to play it on my PlayStation, I guess. There's not a platinum trophy. Not that I could beat all those games anyways and get a platinum, so it's not like that matters. But yeah. All right, so the main topic for this week is our E3 predictions. However, first we're going to run through some news items because there's something I've been dying to talk about for about a week now, and I'm going to talk about it now. We're going to run through this stuff, and then we'll get to our E3 predictions. Thank you guys so much for being here. Sean, hell froze over. Not only did we get a new Death Stranding trailer like we talked about last week, but the freaking game is coming out in November. First, do you believe it?
I don't believe it, but I believe it. I believe it, but it's like,
yeah,
I don't believe it.
I know what you mean. Like, he left Konami December of 2015. Not even 4 years later, he's hired a full studio, which he just hired all his people away from Konami. Picked an engine, got an office, got chairs and computers and all that other stuff. Built a freaking crazy tunnel to get into the thing with Ludens staring at you every time. And like, this game's going to come out. Because of that, I'm keeping my expectations in check for how big a game this is. Like, everything we've seen looks very open and everything. I don't think this is more than like a 15-hour game, though. I can't see how it is. Unless it's just drawn out with a bunch of boring, time-wasty stuff. Like, I don't think this is going to be like a 60,
Is this a truly
game.
open-world game?
We have no freaking clue.
Because it looks like it's too big to be. But then there was something I saw, I don't know if it was on Twitter or if it was a link to like Kotaku, some kind of website. But I think it was straight from Hideo saying that mountain
yes,
that you see,
you
like,
can go there.
You can walk all the way to that mountain and up the mountain, and I'm just having flashbacks to like Breath of the Wild. But, and I don't know if it's just because of the whole like photorealism thing or what, but this seems huge. This seems bigger than Breath of the Wild to me for that one. Even if that's the extent, even if where you're looking and you see that mountain is like the very southernmost point of the whole map, and the mountain is the very north, like even if that is the extent of it, like you're talking that mountain like way in the back there, and you can get all the way to it and up it if you want. Like I can't imagine it is a truly open world game. I almost look at it kind of like Journey, where you can see the mountain, and you just in every level, you can tell you're a little bit closer, and you're a little closer, and a little closer, and then you go up it. I almost see it. Not that this game has anything to do at all with Journey, but like I can't imagine it is a truly open world game.
Or even like God of War was pseudo open world, but it was open, but there was a linear path, and you couldn't go everywhere and everything. But that was the one thing that stood out to me too. He's like. He's very clearly inspired by Breath of the Wild, I would say. Except you can't just climb stuff. You can take out your freaking mutant, like, Billy, what's his name? Infomercial guy. Like, hey, this ladder just extends forever. And you go, and I'm sure you saw the memes of, like, him climbing up the ladder versus Snake Eater and stuff. Or you can just, he said, or you can put your stick in the ground, get your rope out, and you can go down the rope and go across the ravine and then go up that way. It's interesting how we saw that radial thing that shows, but I don't remember what everything looked like. I didn't like stop it and try to look at everything on there and try to figure out what it was. But the only things we saw him use, there was like at least 8 things. I mean, it looked like a full radial. We saw him use the ladder and the rappel rope. That was it.
Yeah.
Now later on we saw gameplay and everything, but this game's coming out November 8th, I guess. I don't think they would say that if they weren't confident they could get it. Because everybody knows Kojima and how long it takes him to make games and all his quirks and everything. Like, I'm pretty sure it's actually going to come out November 8th, which blows my freaking mind. Like, this trailer, let me go through some of my notes here. First off, he tweeted something after the trailer went live, and he said this: people have built walls and become accustomed to living in isolation. Death Stranding is a completely new type of action game where the player's goal is to reconnect isolated cities in a fragmented society. All elements, including the story and gameplay, are bound together by the theme of strand or connection. As Sam Porter Bridges, there's something going on with his name. You will attempt to bridge these divisions, and in doing so, create new bonds or strands with other players around the globe. Through your experience playing the game, I hope you'll come to understand the true importance of forging connections with others. Now, please enjoy the latest trailer, blah, blah, blah.
This almost kind of reminds me of the whole nuclear thing.
Yes.
But I don't mean that. I'm not necessarily saying it in a good way.
No,
I know this is a single-player game, but I don't
Is
like...
it, though?
Well, I mean, maybe it's not. I don't know.
Right.
Like... If somehow, it was weird, I keep coming back to it, but if somehow it was like Journey, where you're playing with this like nameless, there's just, maybe you see other people out there, but it doesn't change the game for you. It's just, hey, nameless person is also playing this game. Look, there's but you can't have two Norman Reeduses walking around.
But what if you're like, that's the one thing I saw in this trailer. When we see the gameplay and stuff, I'm sweating my balls off. When you see the gameplay in this, it's just you, and then these guys come up, and they're like, and they're trying to hunt you, and they got their trucks, and you got your freaking awesome motorcycle, by the way. That thing looks so cool. Yeah. What if, when you're actually playing this game, it's not just your Sam, but it's like, if I'm walking through the world at the same time, I look over, and I'm like, oh, there's Sean Reedus. Oh my goodness, he's getting attacked by the bad guys, and you can go over there and beat him up, and then you both go on your separate ways on your own journey to, I'm trying to get to Chicago, and you're trying to get to St. Louis or something. Like, who knows whatever they are in this world.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if it's something like that, but there's definitely some kind of multiplayer element in here that he has not clued us in at all on what it is. That could be really good, or it could be really, really bad, I think.
Yeah.
He also tweeted, Death Stranding is not a stealth game. It is a brand new action game with the concept of connection, strand. I call it social strand system, or simply strand game. Tomorrow's in your hands, Death Stranding. Social strand system. Did you see my tweet?
Yep.
What is that?
Solid snake simulation.
The S3s. What? Why are you doing? I think it's just a very fun joke. But the tinfoil hat. If you would have gone to the Reddit, the subreddit for Never Be Game Over, oh my God, these people were losing their minds. Another tweet. He said the handprint palm is an important icon in Death Stranding. When you open the palm, you can hold the hand of other. When you close it, it changes to fist that can exclude others. Both are inseparable. The palm can be compared to stick and rope. Tomorrow's in your hands.
Love Kojima.
He's the best. Like, so now I want. Let me go through some of my notes I had because you've seen the trailer, obviously.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So we start out. The president is dying, I guess.
Yeah.
She's connected to these black cable things. Correct? I wasn't dreaming that, right? She's got like hanging in the Oval Office. There's these black strand things.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was supposed to be. I don't know if I was thinking too much into that, but I guess, yeah.
So apparently the point of the game, as far as we know, which means it's not the point of the game, is that we have to travel west to reunite America. There's a lot of clear, very easy to see stuff there with reuniting America and all that, which I don't think that's what it's going to be about. We see a lot of gameplay, like Sean and I predicted last week. We do see a lot of gameplay. We do see guns. There's like no HUD in this.
I like that.
Yeah. You see gun. There was a couple times where in the main trailer you see guns one time, and it's where you're almost like in that Call of Duty section. Remember when he was like sneaking along that tank, and then you go.
Yeah.
It seems like when he's shooting that guy, it's in that same world. Whatever. What world is it? Like how many worlds are there? Like is this like? There's a Japanese quick trailer that also went out, but if you watch that, there's boss footage in that. Like brand new footage. You can see him fighting this big black blobby tarry freaking floating squid boss thing, and he's shooting it, and in that you can see it says the level of your gun, and you can also hit down on the D-pad to switch your ammo types. You could probably switch from bullets to grenades or whatever the hell it is. So that's good. But there's definitely bosses in this game. But I still wonder like how it's weird. Like we both wanted to see gameplay, but I don't think either of us still really know what the gameplay is in this game. Like
the thing that I think it was towards the end of the trailer when you see him, you're just kind of in this like open field, and the guys see him or whatever, and you start fighting, and he's got like a briefcase or something that he hits one of them with. That's specifically what I was talking about when I was telling you. It just seemed very, like, it didn't impress me. It just seemed very clunky, and it's just like, he's like, like the fighting, it was just like, and I'm sure it's not like it's CQC. I can't imagine hand-to-hand combat. It's a big portion of this game. I'm sure that's, for the most part, you have weapons, but I saw that and I was like, that's not doing it for me. But.
Well, also, it did remind me, though, like, in Metal Gear Solid 5, and this doesn't mean there's any conspiracy going on, although we'll get to that in a second. Like if you go up to a soldier and you go wop, 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 when you knock them out that last time does slow down. They kind of go, whoa, and then they fall down, which is exactly what happens in this when he hits the guy with his briefcase a couple times.
Yeah. When
he finally knocks him out, the time slows down and everything. I was like, that's Metal Gear Solid 5 right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's apparently also there's some kind of ping system. Like there's this yellow thing radiating out, and then the one time he did
that reminds me of Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah, there was and then his backpack. There, like an image of the backpack stayed back there. So I don't know, are the bad guys? Is
attracted
it really
to?
Yeah, I think it's maybe it's not to find the bad guys. It's to make the bad guys. It's like knocking on a wall or something.
Yeah.
And then you're saying, well, this is where I did that. They can't obviously see the backpack, but you can, so you know where you did the ping, so you know where they're going to go to.
Yeah.
You're sneaking through the weeds and stuff. He can say it's not a stealth game, whatever.
There's still stealth.
There's
elements.
big time stealth elements in this. The babies are called bridge babies. Also, what the hell? Okay, the motorcycle's awesome. The ghost things that don't appear and everything, they're called the BTs. I forget what it stands for, but of course you want to know what the subreddit said. Oh my god, the ghost things are called PTs. I was like, are you a freaking idiot? Look up the closed captioning and every write-up on this game. They're called BTs. But tell yourself whatever you want. They're not PTs. It's not. I don't care when it's winter. If this game oh, it'll be perfect timing. If this game turns out to be Silent Hills, I'm going in that pool when it's the dead of winter. And you will videotape it and we'll put it up on the channel.
What if it's not Silent Hills, but there's still a connection to it?
If it's
Close enough?
Silent Hill game. If you get to... No, because what these knuckleheads are saying is you get to the end, it's going to say... Like, you basically, you're going to get to the end of it, and it's going to, like, the cut to black, Death Stranding, and then it'll go, Silent Hills, or some like that. Like, they're that freaking down the rabbit hole. So we got some characters also in this. So Norman Reedus is playing Sam Porter Bridges, which I think we knew that was his full name already. We definitely had heard Sam Porter before. I don't know if we had heard Bridges, because it's weird because his last name is Bridges, but the babies are called Bridge Babies. And this company that's like overseeing everything is called Bridges. None of us are going to we're probably going to beat this game and not know what the hell we played. Probably. Not know what the story is or anything. Mads Mikkelsen's character was revealed to be Cliff. He's super cool. He smokes. He can just like smoking. I'm in a tar puddle and I don't care. Light everybody on fire. I don't care. I've got these cables and I'm going to walk through everything. Mads Mikkelsen's awesome. Leah Seydoux' character is named Fragile. We have Mama.
These are just straight, like, Metal Gear Solid names.
There is a lot going on.
I mean, I guess they're just Hideo, but I mean,
Mama.
Yeah.
Like, just why not call her Big Mama? Then you get to the really good names here. Dead Man, who is who is Del Toro's character. Again, did you see he said for this and the next guy, they did capture. They didn't do no voice, no motion or anything. They just captured their bodies and other people play them. So he's Dead Man. Heart Man is Nicholas Winding Refn, who I think directed Drive and some other stuff. Oh. He directed a Mads Mikkelsen movie that was like on Netflix or something as well. So you've got Dead Man, Heart Man. Then you've got Die Hard Man. So is that a play on Die Hard? I don't know. He's played by Tommy Earl Jenkins. Oh, and guess what? He's the guy with the mask. You know what his mask says? Ludens. Higgs is Troy Baker's character. I feel like I'm going to die. And Amelie is played by Lindsay Wagner. She's the one that had the blood coming out the eyes. Of course, the Sorrow has blood coming out of his eyes. So obviously she's probably the Sorrow. And this is Metal Gear 1.5, whatever. And then Bridget is the president. I don't know who plays her. I don't really care.
Bridget.
Again, that's probably, yeah.
I don't think it was a coincidence.
One thing that I did pick up on before I saw this going all over on the tinfoil hats, Mads in that trailer when he's talking to the baby, I think it's towards the end, he says, I'll always be with you. What does Venom Snake say during his monologue when they say, I will not scatter your ashes to the heartless sea?
I will always be with you.
I'll always be with you.
Are you starting to come around?
I'm not, but I'm a little bit nervous. It's Kojima. At this point, he's just effing with everybody is what I really think it is. And I also think the Sorrow. How do we say that word? This happened in a podcast like 2 years ago. SORROW.
Sorrow.
Because I said sorrow, and you're like, what word are you saying? The Sorrow says it too, I think, at some point. But like, I mean, I don't know, man. I pre-ordered it. I thought I had already pre-ordered it. I went through my Amazon orders. I was like, well, crap. I thought I did this before they got rid of the 20%, and I didn't. I pre-ordered Final Fantasy VII, though. And Metroid Prime 4, which is completely being rebooted. I'm excited to play this game. I am not going to get... I love this trailer. It's so weird. It's so Kojima. It's clearly Kojima where he doesn't have to answer to somebody like Konami, where it's just like Sony just cut him a check and said, do whatever you want. He's like, okay, I'm going to get real freaking crazy. And he got real crazy. Do I think this is going to be my favorite game of all time or even the best game this year? Probably not. There's a lot of things in this I'm excited about, but there's a lot of things that make me nervous as well. Yep. So, I don't know. What do you think after everything we've talked about? Looking forward to Death Stranding. Are you going to play it? Are you excited to play it? What do you think?
I can't imagine I won't play it. I'm sure I will. I feel like I should be a lot more excited for it than I am. That being said, I am looking forward to it. I still don't really know what's going on, but we got to see gameplay, which I'm satisfied. One thing that never really hit me until I was watching this trailer, and I'm kind of worried about it to some extent, and I don't know why. I don't know how I feel about this whole, like, you are, I mean, it's basically a movie. Like, you are Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that. When actors, like, their actual likeness is in the game. Like, and that's how all movies are. I get it. But, like, when I'm controlling, now in PT, it was fine because it was all first person.
You didn't
whatever,
even know it was him until you actually beat it.
Right. So I'm worried that just when I'm swinging the camera around and I see Norman Reedus, not some new character, something about it just seems weird to me. And I don't know that I like it. And maybe when it comes time to actually play the game, it'll be the furthest thing from my mind. But something about that, I'm not quite sure that I'm digging it.
No, I get that because if you look, I've also seen tweeted out Yoji Shinkawa concept arts for all the characters. I'm like, that looks like Yoji Shinkawa. That looks like a Metal Gear game where, like, that's why it was so good in Metal Gear Solid 5. Like, Jack Bauer did all the facial recognition and like the everything and the voice and everything.
Right.
But it was clearly they just made
it's one
Snake
thing to be
the
able
way
to
Snake's
see
supposed
that
to be.
it's, yeah.
And like when Troy Baker played Ocelot, that didn't look like Troy Baker. It was just a young Ocelot.
Right.
Older than he was in 3, but younger than he was in the others, obviously. So I completely get what you're saying. It's weird.
And like games are becoming more and more, like, they're essentially movies that you have a little control over now. And that's literally what every single movie, non-animated movie is. Like, I don't watch Batman and be like, why is Christian Bale doing that? I mean, it's just Batman. Like, like I see Captain America. I don't see Chris Evans.
Right.
But something about in a game, I don't know. Something about it's just kind of...
It's the whole reason why Link to this day is still a silent avatar, because you want to be able to just put your all into that. So Nintendo even says, we ain't even going to make him talk. So you don't even have to hear a voice that's not yours. You just become Link. Everything you're bringing up right now, I don't know how well this game's going to sell. I think people that are like, Sony's got 100 million PlayStations out there by this point, just about. Hardcore people and people that are like me, that are like, F you, Konami, blah, blah, even though you're doing really good lately, and hopefully you'll do better at E3, but we'll get to that here in a minute. You know what I'm going to say. It doesn't even matter. They're going to buy the game. They're going to play the game. But especially putting this out in November is like, man, I don't know. This comes out a week before Jedi Fallen Order. It ain't going to outsell Jedi Fallen Order. 2 weeks after Call of Duty, which we'll get to here in a minute, it ain't going to come close to Call of Duty.
Do you think this sells like
3-4 million?
5 million?
I think it's like we just heard an update on a Capcom call that like Resident Evil 2 sold 4.5 million. I can't see it selling anywhere near that.
Yeah.
So I'm like 2 million maybe in the first in that first weekend, maybe first couple weeks. Like maybe in November it sells 2 million. After that it drops, but maybe this is going to be that Kojima magic where people talk about it, and the problem is if people talk about it, they're going to spoil whatever's so good about it. So then do people even want to play it? Like, I don't know. Like, I was hoping we wouldn't see anything more. I still love, if you compare the buildup for this game to Metal Gear Solid 5, we didn't know it at the time, but Metal Gear Solid 5 gave away everything. Yeah. This clearly has not, because there's so many different characters, and we've seen so little of each that there's no way they've given it all away. I like that, but also I'm like, man, I still just want, like, what I really wanted, like we said last week, for this trailer to be was just cut out all the story stuff. Just show 4 or 5 minutes of actual gameplay, not just a snippet here and a snippet here. Like, take us through a mission. Take us through one mission in the middle of the game with no story implications. Let us see what it actually looks like. How many people are we fighting? Are we really just transporting stuff? How does the baby factor in? Like, I think if they want this game to be a very good selling game, they got to give the public more than they have so far.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
I'm excited, but I'm not going to go over the moon getting hyped for this game. So now we only spent like 30 seconds on that. The next Call of Duty was revealed. It is Call of Duty : Modern Warfare, and I'm fine with that. It's coming out October 25th. It will be cross-play, PS4, Xbox, and PC. That's awesome. It is a reboot, not a remake. They're using a brand new engine. Did you see the trailer? Oh my God, it looks good.
It looks good.
Price is back. I think Soap might be back, so it's definitely qualifies as a reboot that they're bringing these characters back. There's going to be some co-op gameplay in there. The big thing, though, no season pass. Everybody gets free maps and free content after release. You do get early access to it on PS4 because they've still got their exclusive deal with Activision, whatever it is. I was reading some of the write-ups from like Ryan McCaffrey and some other people that actually went hands-on with it, and they're trying to make you very uncomfortable is what it looks like, and not in a cheesy way, but it's just like used to be in Call of Duty. If you go up to it, if a door is there and you have to walk through it, you just touch it and it goes oh, boom, and everybody's like whoa. Whereas this, you can just kind of barely inch it open and you can look through and you can see that guy there and you can be okay, whatever. And then if he doesn't see you, you can go back down the hallway and you can shoot him through the wall and go back in and he's dead. Like, sounds really cool. You also will play it from the side of some Middle Eastern rebel fighters as well that are like on your side, but they're doing it obviously in a completely different way.
Right.
I'm not going to go to the level where I'm going to say I buy a Call of Duty again, but I'm at least intrigued.
More so than I've been for any Call of Duty game
since Black Ops 2 for me.
I mean, I don't even know. I don't know when the last
Modern
one for me
Warfare
was.
probably, yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
I think it looks really good. I'm excited to see where it goes. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's nothing else coming out in October right now that I'm aware of. That could all change here in a week, but we'll see. And now the wrap up before we get to our predictions. Marvel's. So thanks a lot, Square Enix, for screwing over one of my predictions that I was going to make. But Square Enix said that Marvel's Avengers will be at E3, and that's the title for the Avengers Project, as it used to be called. And we got this little nugget from the E3 thing to say what it's going to be about. So this comes from the E3 showcase page. Embrace your powers and join key members of the development team at Crystal Dynamics and the creative team at Marvel Games as they talk exclusively about the upcoming Marvel's Avengers. This is the defining Avengers gaming experience, an epic action-adventure that combines cinematic storytelling with continuous single-player and co-op gameplay. Moderated by Andrea Renee, assembling teams of up to 4 players, master extraordinary abilities, customize your heroes to fit your playstyle, and combine powers to defend an ever-expanding world under constant threat. So what my prediction was going to be, let me see if I can find it here. E3. Avengers Project will be unveiled. It will be an action RPG, kind of similar. Kingdom Hearts, you switch between people, right? Or no?
You're always, well...
You're always Sora?
For the most part, you're always Sora, and the characters you meet, like Aladdin, can replace either Donald or Goofy. Okay. Or you can say, no, I don't want Aladdin. I'm going to keep going with Donald and Goofy, but yeah.
Well, so I said it would be an action RPG where you're able to switch between characters on the fly, not like GTA 5, but more like you've got the three, like you've got Captain America and Thor and Iron Man and maybe somebody else with them, and you can switch between them and do whatever. But it'd be an action RPG where you can switch between them. It'll be coming out in 2020. I don't know that I was that far off. I guess we'll see what it is, but
I'm curious. This game seems so like it should be such a huge deal, and maybe it's just because we haven't seen anything, but like,
yeah,
all anybody could talk about for years was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it seems like this should be that and then some. And it's just not. Like, there's something I'm missing about this game, it seems like. First of all, it seems like a weird kind of game for Square Enix to be doing.
That's why I think it's going to be some kind of... They're saying action-adventure and stuff, but that's why I was thinking an action RPG, kind of in the mold of, well, Final Fantasy 15. Could you switch between dudes, or were you always Noctis?
No, you had... Oh, God, it's been so long since I played. Yeah, you could switch between all 4 of them.
That's what I pictured it being, but like Captain America, like I said, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, you level each up depending on what you do. You fight bosses, and I don't know. The co-op thing seems cool, but...
This should be awesome. But something is like... It's almost like there's got to be some reason why there doesn't seem to be that much hype about this game. And maybe it's just because nobody knows anything about it yet, but... I feel like everybody was hyped for Spider-Man before they knew anything about it. Yep. So something seems off to me about this game, but I'm curious to see what it looks like.
Yep. Stay tuned for E3. We'll see a lot there, of course. The Contra Anniversary Collection unveiled its full lineup. No release date yet, but the games are Contra on the arcade, Contra on the NES, Contra on the Famicom, Super Contra on the arcade.
What is Contra on the Famicom?
The Japanese Contra.
But how is it different than...
I don't know. The only thing I saw a screenshot on IGN where it looks like before each level, it shows you like an overworld map of where you're going to get to the alien base. Like the jungle and then into the thing and then into Jump and Flash and all that.
I just can't imagine it's that different from either the arcade or the NES. It seems weird that we have all three of those, but...
Well, we also get Super C in the arcade and Super C on the NES. Obviously, we get Contra 3, The Alien Wars. We also get Super Probotector Alien Rebels for the SNES.
One of the best games of all time.
Have you ever heard of this? I didn't know
Nope.
this was a thing. This was Contra 3 in Europe. Everybody's robots. You play as robots. You fight robots.
But like it's...
But it's
Alien
Contra
Wars,
3.
or it's a totally different
the
game?
Alien Wars with just like sprite swaps. I kind of want to get this just to play this.
Yeah.
Contra Hardcore on the Genesis. Also, Probotector from the Mega Drive, which is an all-robot version of Hardcore in Europe.
That was weird.
Now I'm like, okay, I think you might have me because I want to play those two games.
Yeah.
And Operation C on the Game Boy, which no one should play. No one cares. Xbox Game Pass is coming to PC. Okay. More details will follow. June PS Plus games. That's actually a pretty good month. Sonic Mania and Borderlands The Handsome Collection, which includes the pre-sequel and Borderlands 2. You need to download that.
That I'll probably get. I don't know that I'll play it, but it's one of those things that I'm going to buy and have in my back pocket.
Just so you got it.
Yeah.
Sonic Mania, if you haven't played it and you care at all about Sonic,
Do it. Yeah,
I mean, you should have already bought it, but
Well,
yes, download it for sure. Games with Gold gets NHL 19, Rivals of Aether on the Xbone, Xbox 360, which is backwards compatible with the Bone, gets Portal Still Alive, which is basically a remake that came out on XBLA of the original Portal. So basically, you can play Portal for free, and Earth Defense Force 2017. I think Sony actually wins this month.
That's a toss-up.
NHL 19 for free is pretty cool.
It
Hockey
doesn't
games
interest
are
me,
so much
but it's
fun.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then Portal, I've missed out on Portal. I think I would enjoy that, but
Me too.
I don't know. That's a toss-up. They're both pretty good. If Sony had 4 games instead of 2, I feel like that has to change.
I hope so. It probably will when the PS5 comes out. That's it for all the news of the week. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main topic of the week, and it's my favorite time of the year. It is time for our E3 predictions / hopes and dreams for 2019. Sean, I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
Sony's not going to be there. That sucks. But I'm excited to see what Xbox does. I'm very intrigued by whatever Square Enix is going to show. We talked about Avengers.
Yeah.
Might talk about some other stuff. Square Enix has got a lot of stuff going on, so that excites me. But you know what excites me the most is my first prediction, and I'm just going to get it out of the way because I'm a glutton for punishment. Konami comes out on Xbox's stage, and they announced Metal Gear Solid 3, the remake in Fox Engine, coming out on all platforms, just really meaning Xbox and PS4 and PC. It's not going to come out on Switch. It was 3 years ago today as we're recording this that they unveiled that damn pachinko. I saw it in my time hop.
Really?
3 years ago today. Damn it, Konami. I've been making this prediction. This is my 4th E3 in a row that I've made this freaking prediction. I'm going to get it right one of these years, or I'm going to go crazy. I will never not predict this until it happens. Metal Gear Solid 3, the remake in Fox Engine, coming out next year. That doesn't work.
So I have 6 predictions.
Okay.
But one of them, I'm pretty sure you're going to have 2. And I think it's a pretty safe one, so I'm just going to skip it.
I didn't do that one.
If
If it's what I think you're thinking.
Where do I start? All right, this one's pretty safe.
First off, am I crazy? Do you just ignore me because you're like, he's too far down, he's too far gone at this point? Yes.
I think you're crazy.
You do? You don't think
But I
there's
can't
any
blame
chance?
you for...
Why would they make that pachinko?
I don't know.
All right, go ahead.
My first one, pretty safe, but I think we get more information, which really... Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
I think we had a release date for the first part. I think we learned more about what this whole episodic thing is.
Yeah.
And I think part 1, episode 1, whatever, comes out November this year.
Wow. Oh my God. I'm screwed.
And I think it's just because Death Stranding, maybe that's like renewed my faith. And it's like, well, if Death Stranding can come out this year, Kingdom Hearts came out this year, like maybe it's finally time that
that's a good call.
Final Fantasy VII is going to come out. I don't know, but I mean, it's clearly coming. We're way past the point of is this actually going to, like, it's happening. I don't think there's any way they wait till next gen.
No, they said in that when that
they actually confirmed.
They said it's coming to PS4. Yeah,
I'm gonna say November. I think it's sooner than we think. It's clearly very far along, and especially the fact that even though I used the same talking point as a concern before, the fact that it's episodic means we've got to be getting episode 1 very soon. Yeah. I can't imagine. I don't know if it's gonna be 2, 3, 4. I don't know how many. I can't imagine they're still releasing them after the PS5 has come out. Like, you got to get moving on these. Now, I did say that was a concern because if episode 1 isn't even out yet, has all this time, we haven't even gotten the first episode. Like, are we really expecting episode 2 to come out 6 months or so later? I don't know how long it'll be, but I don't have much faith in that. But you got to start somewhere. It's clearly very far along. And if it was not episodic, I don't think it would come out this year. But the fact that it is, I think we get that first one November this year.
And if that does happen, it makes even more sense why I'm saying Death Stranding should not be a November game. It should be like a late September game.
Yeah.
Like Metal Gear Solid 5 came out September 1st. No other games around it. Avoid Call of Duty and Battlefield and all that other crap. Just have it all to yourself. Death Stranding in November, I don't like that, Raymond.
Yeah.
Next up, I got to say, I got a big hole in my heart. And I'm not Iron Man. But that hole is a snake-shaped hole in my heart because tactile espionage action is gone. So similar to what I just predicted, no, it's not going where you think it is. Ubisoft comes out and they unveil a new Splinter Cell coming out early 2020, and I jump on board finally on the Splinter. Have you played any of the Splinter Cells?
Nope.
I think the only reason I didn't is because this like snootiness of me or whatever when it comes to Metal Gear, like, no, that is stealth action.
Yeah.
Nothing else can touch it. You're over there with your cool little your 3 little green eyes, whatever, like your cool Sam Fisher. Okay. They put Sam Fisher in Ghost Recon Wildlands in a little cameo. They had him in some commercial or something like that. Like, I'm saying Sam Fisher's a character. What's the guy's name? Jeffrey Irons. No, that's Alfred.
Jeremy Irons.
Maybe it's Jeffrey Irons. I don't know. Whoever the guy is, he's still around. Clearly, this is happening. The reason I do think this is happening, though, this might be kind of an easy prediction because
I think it is happening.
Ubisoft said in a recent conference call that they've got 3 unannounced AAA games coming out before March of next year. I don't think Splinter Cell is coming out this year. That's because I'm just going to assume Watch Dogs 3, and I'm not going to predict it. I assume Watch Dogs 3 is coming out this November as well, which this November is going to friggin' wreck me if that's true. The rumors are saying that it's set in London. You play as a female this time. The rumors are saying there might actually be no guns, which now I'm like, I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. But there are 3 unannounced games. 2 of them have to be Splinter Cell and Watch Dogs 3 coming out before March. That's why I'm going to go with the early 2020 thing. It will be a this-gen game. It won't be a next-gen game. It will be out by early 2020. It'll be out by March 2020. Splinter Cell, something, and I finally take the leap is my second part of that prediction, that I finally jump on the Splinter Cell bandwagon.
I think that's a good prediction. My next one... common theme. I'm going all in. I think we get at least a teaser of Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, I wanted to do this, but
I don't know. That may be a PS5 game. I mean, they won't say one way or another yet. But because of the way Final Fantasy 15 was, where it was super, like, modern, and you drive a car, and there's highways, and there's big cities, and guns and and Final Fantasy VII coming out, which wasn't really that much different. I mean, there was a highway scene, you're driving motorcycles, and it's still very modern. I'm going to say 16 kind of goes back to its roots and goes more like medieval setting.
What would you want 16 to be? Would you want it to be the 15 style of gameplay or more 12 or old school 16-bit? Like, I don't think they'll
I don't think we can go all the way back to pure turn-based, like... I don't really know what 7's going to be like.
Yeah.
15, I've soured on quite a bit. It didn't seem... The fact that, for the most part, Final Fantasy games are completely unrelated to one another anyway, and the fact that that one was so different, both in terms of the setting and the combat, the gameplay, it's almost not even a Final Fantasy game to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it is in name alone, and that's about it. It wasn't a bad game, but I just remember that the fighting style, like the actual like action gameplay of it, it didn't do it for. I don't know. It was almost too. It took a lot of like the strategy out of it, or something to me. There's something that I didn't
just
really
like hold circle the whole time.
You can kind of. It was something like that. It was just very like button mashy, and I'm sure you can get a little more involved with it if you want, but. Final Fantasy 12, I think, was fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't remember much about 13, but 12 was like a good mix of still turn-based, but more active. It was still like menu-driven, but it was active. It was all going on in like real time. I don't know. What I would want is something more like 12, but even 12's system almost seems... as antiquated as like a true like turn-based like Final Fantasy 7 or 10 or whatever. I think we're already too far gone to go back to that. I'm guessing whatever 7 ends up being is probably what it'll be.
Yeah.
But I do think we go... I'm trying to think of what 9 was like. So the little I played of 14, which was MMO,
yeah.
It was more old school. It was like, I think, unless I'm totally crazy, but I remember it being more like castles. It was like medieval kind of setting. 13 was pretty modern. 15 was like ultra modern. 12 was a little bit of both. I don't know anything about 11. 10 was more like, it had a lot of like island, like it was all like tropical kind of settings. 9, I don't really remember much about. 8 was pretty modern. 7 was modern. Like, I think we go back to, like, you don't see a gun in the entire game.
Swords and staffs.
Swords,
and,
yes. Yeah. Like, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think it's a long shot. It's obviously coming. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't think we see it this year because it's my prediction, but it's definitely a long shot. I think it's a teaser at best. I don't think it's going to say anything about the game. Maybe we'll see like characters' faces, a logo, which sometimes the logo can give away something. But I think it's a teaser. I think we hear something definitive that Final Fantasy 16 is coming. God, I hope it's a single player and not MMO.
I think it will be. I mean, they're still updating 14 every month now. They're putting out all like that. That is its. I don't think they'll ever make another MMO Final Fantasy because 14 has, while it struggled at the beginning, I guess it's really taken off. People love that stupid thing now. Yeah. So I think you'll be safe there.
Yeah.
I like it. I hope it's true. Next up for me, I got a double whammy of DLC. I predict that both Cuphead and The Messenger in separate, it'll be Cuphead on Microsoft stage. Devolver Digital does have their own, I was going to say prediction show, presentation. They will both be announced that we've got the Cuphead Isle 4 or whatever it'll be and the Messenger Beach whatever vacation thing are both available
now.
Today. I'm not going to say now. At first I wrote now and I was like, no. I could lose points there. It will be out the day of their conferences. It'll be out later that day. And I will immediately jump into both.
That would be awesome.
Actually, I might not jump into Cuphead because we should just play through it blind. That would be fun. Oh, you're going to... Oh, no, you won't be out of town yet.
That seems... I mean, I guess they've been talking about that for a while.
So they announced...
I feel like I just heard about it because I just finally started playing Cuphead.
They announced Cuphead, which I completely forgot about it. They announced the Cuphead DLC last year at E3. Just said 2019, never gave a date. The Messengers stuff was revealed at the Kind of Funny Game Showcase in December. And all they said... I thought they had said summer maybe or something, but we haven't seen anything about it since that showcase. Yeah, I think it would just be awesome to get both of these games that we both absolutely love to get more content in them on the same day. And I will play through the Messenger on PS4, not on Switch. It plays so much better on PS4. But yeah, not a very fun prediction. But if you love those games like us, you're just dying to know when that DLC is going to come out for both of them. And it's both. Well, no, Cuphead's not free. The Messenger is free. But whatever Cuphead costs, I don't care. Really? I'll pay it. Yeah. So that's number 3 for me.
Raptors are up 5-0.
Sweet.
What next? This one's fun. I think to continue their streak of relative, I guess it's kind of their resurgence. I think we get a new, like, standalone, not a remake, nothing, a brand new mainline Castlevania game from Konami.
Oh my God.
Because of all the hype about Bloodstained, and now they're doing like the legacy and the show on top of that. And I hope it's, like a Symphony of the Night.
It has to be, yeah.
I don't think they can go away from that style anymore. But I mean, now's the time. I don't know when the last one was.
Well, was it Lords of Shadow 2.
Was it like a DS kind of thing? Or
no, so Lords of Shadow was the one that Kojima kind of produced, and then they did Lords of Shadow 2, which that was one that you get to the end of Lords of Shadow 1 and finds out that Gabriel Belmont, spoiler alert, you actually are Dracula, and you're in modern, like you go through a window and you're in the middle of New York City. It was like The Village or something. I was like, what the hell is going on? The first one was supposed to be pretty good. The second one was not that good, but I think it was like 2012 or 2013. So it's been 5-6 years at least.
Since 2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. That's another one that, especially after hearing that, I feel like even though there's been some good ones that I have totally missed out on, that's another one I think that needs to go, not back to its roots, not back to like Castlevania 1, 3, whatever, but back to like Symphony of the Night. Like, don't try to do anything crazy. Just, I want a Metroidvania game.
Yeah.
But I basically want Symphony of the Night 2 is really what I want. But I think we get a new, just to capitalize on all the Castlevania hype lately, I think we get a new Castlevania game.
If Konami comes out of this show announcing a Metal Gear remake of any kind, no matter what the number is behind it, and a new game getting announced, hell yeah. Mm-hmm. You're back in. I mean, you guys have been doing pretty well, I gotta say. Yeah. I like it. God, I hope that's true. Next up for me, I've got some Switch Online predictions. First, this fall we get SNES games.
I hope you're right. I hope. I don't know why this isn't already a thing. I don't know why their entire catalog, whatever. I mean, granted, we're getting it for free. I would be so annoyed if I was paying money for this
crap. It sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we get SNES games. They'll just say this fall, which can mean anything up until December. But I think they will come out. I think what they'll probably end up doing is they'll put all the big ones in there at once, and then they'll trick out the 2 a month or whatever, like they've been doing the NES games of obscure titles. But it'll start with Mario World and Zelda and Metroid and probably a Kirby game and Yoshi's Island and whatever. Like, I think they'll put all the big guns there at first. Be like, hey, thanks so much for hanging in there with us with our crappy online service. Here you go. But I'm not going to predict GameCube or N64 or anything like that. No. They're never going to do that. The other part of my prediction for Switch Online is that Nintendo finally gives us some kind of achievement-based / trophy system for Nintendo. what would not surprise me at all is if they just say, because they've done the achievements with Cuphead on the Switch, if they just say Xbox achievements are now on Switch. And they've got this great working relationship where everything is all like synergy and all these other buzzwords and all this other stuff. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they just say you can earn Xbox achievements on Switch for all our games. My prediction is not that, but some kind of achievement system.
Yeah.
They will also announce that all first-party Nintendo games are being patched by the end of June. And like if you just boot up Breath of the Wild, you go bing, 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 and then you can go and say, oh, well, how many? I've got 28 out of 43 trophies or whatever. What do I got to do? I got to get all the Korok poops. Okay, and I got to do this over here, and I got to hang glide for like 1,000 meters or something. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. I think it's just so smart. Like I get, like I'm a trophy whore at this point. I get it, whatever. But it's stuff like just something I just made up for Breath of the Wild. Like,
that sounds
see if
fun.
you can hang glide for 1,000 meters. Like, do you have? Obviously, you got to have your stamina meter up all the way. Do you have to kind of go and then die and then go? Like, what's the highest point? And how far can you go? And does the wind catch you and whatever? Like, just fun stuff like that to make you go back to these games or go back to Odyssey. Like, obviously, it would all be about get this many moons, get that many moons, whatever, blah 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 blah. But I think it would just be so, like, Sony and Microsoft. Microsoft did it first. Obviously, I know that. They found something with trophies and achievements. Like, people love them. I don't really understand how they work on Xbox. It's all just point based. You don't like get a platinum trophy. You just get gamer points and gamer score or whatever. So I think there's a happy medium there. I prefer the whole trophy based thing because it's just cooler to me to just like, oh, you got a trophy. But I think Nintendo will do something like that. So it's a double whammy prediction for Switch Online that we get SNES games, not SNES. If you say SNES, stop. And we get some kind of achievement system for the Switch.
I like it. I think you're dead on with SNES. We cannot be too far off from that. I think I just noticed these are not the same.
No, you got the big one. That's like the 32 ounce, and this is the 20 ounce.
Are these Yetis?
They're knockoffs.
I like it. I like the blue. I think you're dead on with SNES. I'm hoping maybe it's even sooner than that. I wouldn't say the achievement thing is a pipe dream, but I think that's less likely, but that would be awesome. Even not, I don't really care that much about trophies. There's a lot of games like Cuphead on the Switch that I'd like to see what kind of achievements I can get. Yeah. And I know that, you know, if there's the equivalent of like a platinum where you get everything, I know I'm never going to get that for Breath. I'm probably not going to get them for any game that I own right now, to be honest with you. But I think that would be cool. I think that would reinvigorate my... Like, I could see going back to Odyssey and just seeing, right, just saying, like, what have I done?
Open it up,
what
have everything pop. What haven't I done?
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. Let's see if this will be fun. You know what would be the kicker, though? I just thought of this. I'm not going to add it, but I'm just going to say, wouldn't this be cool if they add achievements to NES and SNES games that are in Switch Online? So, Link to the Past. I'm going to platinum that mother effer. You can believe that. I'm going to do everything that you want me to do in that game.
Yeah.
Mario 3, Mario World. Okay, I will now beat Star Road because you put that stuff in there. Like, imagine
that would be cool.
That. I'm not going to add it to the predictions, but if it comes true, I'll give myself a bonus half a point.
I like it.
What you got?
All right.
We haven't stolen any from each other yet. That's good.
No, I'm still holding on to one that I thought you were going to do, but maybe you're not. You only have one left?
Only got one left. I'm not doing the one you think I'm doing, but I got it here as a maybe.
I think we get... Because I think Xbox is going all in. Hashtag all in. I think we get some kind of... Maybe no more than what Sony did, but I think we hear about their next gen. Finally. The Xbox. I don't know what it'll be called, but you kind of have to. I don't think they're going to let Sony get too far out ahead with that.
They're going to say,
especially after getting murdered on this generation. I think they need to do something now. I don't think we see anything. We don't get any kind of release date, but similar to Sony, give us some specs, give us some kind of like tech demo of here's Xbox One, here's an Xbox One S. That's child's play compared to this, which will have this many, whatever's above teraflops, like so many flops, more flops than you can shake a stick at. I think
like Belschnickel.
They need to. I mean, we all know it's coming. They need to say it's coming. I don't care. I'm not an expert. I couldn't care less about it, but I think they need to do something. Again, similar to what Sony did, but live.
Yeah. So they talked about it last year. They said we're working on it, whatever, but we really don't. We know more about the PS5 than we know about the Xbox 2. Right. Whatever the hell.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what they'll call it. And we may not even get a name yet. We don't even know. I mean, have they confirmed that it's the PS5? Or we're just...
No, they're saying next-gen PlayStation is all they're saying, yeah. It's going to be the PS5.
I think it'll be like Xbox... That's almost too long. I was going to say... That's what I was going to say, Xbox Infinite, but they've already done Call of Duty. I don't think it's just going to be Xbox 2.
If they do that, that's even dumber than the Xbox One.
Right.
But I don't know what they call it. They can't call it like I want the Xbox because they already had the Xbox just 15 years ago. Whatever. Actually, it was 19 years ago. Yeah. 18 years ago.
I don't know. I don't think we get much. I don't think we get a name. I don't think we see it. I don't think we get a release date. But they need to release something about it. Tell us a little bit about what to expect. Get people hyped for this next generation.
Okay. My last prediction, you kind of stole it. But we finally see Halo Infinite gameplay, and they announced that it is running on the next-gen Xbox. In-engine, everything. It's not, there'll be CGI, whatever. There'll be story stuff, but they're going to show you actual Halo Infinite. They announced that it is coming out fall 2020. They also announced the new Xbox is coming out fall 2020, and they do name the son of a bitch.
Wow.
Was my prediction. I don't know how many things I have there that I can get points on or whatever, but we see Halo Infinite gameplay. It's a launch title for the Scarlet, and we find out. So I guess it's only 3 things. So yeah, we see Halo Infinite gameplay running on the new Xbox. It's a launch title, and it's coming out fall 2020 with the Scarlet, with whatever the name is, the Xbox 2, the Xbox Zero, the Xbox Infinity, whatever they end up calling it. That was my final prediction.
Okay.
So we kind of got a half and a half there.
Yeah. So real quick, the one that I was holding out that I thought you were going to do, so I didn't want to do it. I think it's very safe.
Yeah.
I'd like to think it's safe, but I'm worried
safe.
It's not.
It's going to happen.
Nintendo?
Yeah. Metroid Prime Trilogy.
We have to get a Prime Trilogy.
We have to get it. So if you would have said Halo, I was going to say, well, fine. Okay, Metroid Prime Trilogy.
So yeah, we both think we're going to get a Prime Trilogy.
I think that's almost a lock. Do you have any bonus ones that you don't want to count? Like a real pie in the sky? Because I got a pie in the sky one after your
Well, my last real one, because that was kind of my bonus one, because I figured you'd take it. So I came up with 5 others. My last one is, this is borderline pie in the sky, because I don't even know when. I don't even know what the relationship is with Xbox. This may be pie in the sky now that I'm actually thinking it through, because they don't have a standalone thing. I don't know how it would happen. I don't even know if it can happen. But somehow I think we get a teaser. I think we get something about Resident Evil 8. Now, was 7 and 2 remake, were those on Xbox?
Oh, yeah, they came out on everything.
Okay, so I guess if they announce it, it'll be during Xbox.
Because Capcom doesn't have a show. So
that's what I'm saying. So I guess that's where it would happen. I thought about maybe a 3 make.
Oh, my God.
But I think they're going to alternate. I think we're going to get 8 before we get the 3 make.
Or the 4 make, which I would love as well, too. Just update that game with newer controls with the RE2 engine. Oh, my God.
That seems like that'd be a very easy thing to do.
Yes. That is correct.
Resident Evil 8, maybe not much more than the original kitchen demo. Yeah. I don't think they're going to try to hide it and be like, no, this isn't... they're going to be like, this is Resident Evil 8. and maybe it's just like that original kitchen thing. I think it's going to be maybe just a clip. I don't think we're going to know much about it, but
Do they
maybe
stick
you
with
just
first
hear
person?
maybe you just hear like voiceover kind of thing, and then at the end you hear somebody. Maybe it's Chris. I don't know, but they'll drop a name, and they'll be like, and then it'll be like Resident Evil.
Chris, do you copy?
Right. It'd be some kind of.
God.
But I'm kind of picturing something like that. But I'm not going to say it's coming out January. I don't think it's. That may even be a PS5. I don't know.
I think it's PS5 because I think it'll be January 2021 because they went January 17 for
Oh yeah,
7,
there was
January
2 years
19
in
for
between.
2.
Yeah.
But again, Kitchen came out. We saw Kitchen
6.
a year
16.
and a half before 17 came out.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was E3 2016 when we saw RE7. That was after Kitchen had already come out. And then it came out 9 months later or whatever.
That's right.
7 months, I guess. But
So I'm hoping for RE8, and I hope just keep going with what you got with 7.
Yeah.
I don't know that we'll get that much information, but like, I never thought I'd say this. Keep it first person.
yeah.
Keep it that kind. Don't go back to like zombies. Keep it that style. Or I mean, you
Keep
can
it
bring back zombies. I don't care, but like, just I want this game to scare the crap out of me.
Correct. You want this
Resident
game to
Evil
make
2,
you
there's a
poop.
lot of like jump scares, and that's fine. Resident Evil 7 just made me uneasy.
The atmosphere
and there was
was
jump
horrible,
scares
yeah.
also, but the whole thing just RE2, it was just like I'd be playing and then blah, like something would pop out of the ceiling or jump through a window, whatever. Like,
Or you'd hear.
oh god, I forgot. Yeah, that made me.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, I want to be scared when
Yeah.
playing this game. So keep doing. You nailed it with 7. Don't switch it up too much. Just keep that going.
I like it.
Resident
I
Evil.
hope so.
8. I'm
I'm so on the Resident Evil train now that I hope you're right.
yeah.
A couple others that I did not include. I had written down Persona 5 coming out on Switch, but after it didn't happen at this big reveal thing like a month ago, I don't think it's happening, so that's not coming. Before I knew Sony wasn't going to be there, I had written down a brand new Crash Bandicoot game. However, I realized I still could have made that prediction because it's Activision now. It's not Sony. Sony doesn't own it. Crash came out on everything. So that still might happen. I'm not going to count that for points or anything. That was one of the things that I had written down as a maybe prediction. I don't care anything about it unless they completely rework that game because the original Crash and what the Insane trilogy looked like, nah, that ain't for me, bro.
If Sony was going to be D3, what I would have predicted, or at least hoped for, I want a Jak and Daxter remake trilogy.
A whole trilogy.
I want
of the
all three
original
of them.
stuff.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Like they did with Crash.
Right.
Just,
Right.
Yeah. Those games were so good.
I mean, if they're going to remake stupid Medieval, you would think they would remake Jak and Daxter at some point.
yeah.
My Pie in the Sky, I had written down Prime Trilogy too, but we both thought we were both
Yeah.
going to do it, so neither of us did it. So if it's there, we both get a point. I don't care. Pie in the Sky, Hopes and Dreams prediction. Nintendo announces Star Tropics 3. Completely out of left field. I thought about this because I start this note like forever ago, and then I was like, Star Tropics 3.
I can't believe they just let that die. Like,
That's why I think at some point I think they're going to do it. I think they're just going to be like whatever, and it doesn't have to be a $60 game. Like I still don't even. Know
It can
that
be
Link's
like-
Awakening should be $60.
it can be like
but
Link's Awakening. Like, I don't need a Star Tropics on the scale of Breath of the Wild.
correct.
Just give me Link's Awakening remake style. I don't want a remake. Give me a new game, but like
Link
it doesn't
Between
need to be
Worlds, Star Tropics.
exact.
Star Tropics.
Star Tropics. That would be fantastic.
That's my Pie in the Sky. If that somehow happens, I'll give myself a half a point. But
I think you owe it to yourself now, just for making that prediction, that you need to go back and play Star Tropics.
I do. I got through like the first 2 levels on my NES Classic. I need to just
Oh, so you
plug
have
it in
played
and beat it. Yeah,
Okay.
I loved
It
it.
gets that is right up there with like Zelda 2,
Like
where the difficulty just goes poof at the end. Like the last level is so freaking hard, and up until that point, it doesn't really get that much more difficult as you go through, and then the last level is just insane. And I never really played 2. I mean, I've started it.
It's like the exact same thing.
The same
right?
graphics
Yeah.
and stuff, but instead of like just in the islands, it's like time travel stuff. So instead of like you're on this island and then that island and then that island and then you go underwater, it's like you're in like ancient Egypt, and then you're in I don't know where else you go, but it's all like time travel. But it plays exactly the same, yeah. But I would love that.
That's my pie in the sky. Did you have anything else that didn't make the cut that was just crazy?
Nothing that I wrote down. There were probably some that crossed my mind that I didn't even bother writing down. But
Final Fantasy 16 was one of mine too, but I was like, I wanted to predict Final Fantasy 16 to be old school, like Final Fantasy 6 style, but I was like, but they've got Octopath now. They don't. I mean, it's
I don't think they'll do that with any mainline Final Fantasy games, but it would be cool to just go back. And that's kind of like a compromise. Just go back to that style, like kind of just swords and shields and spears, and I mean, it's still magic and stuff, but I don't want to be fighting people with guns.
Bazookas
it's kind of
yeah.
And I don't want to be driving a car.
Yeah,
just give me chocobos.
Those were our E3 predictions / hopes and dreams for 2019. Stay tuned next week when we reveal who won. It'll probably be 0 to 0.5.
I think that's what it was last year, right? I think I got a half a point for something.
You got 2 years ago, or I guess it was 3 years ago now, when they unveiled, you said Resident Evil 7 will be unveiled. It'll be Resident Evil.
That.
Huh?
I nailed that.
You said
It'll
something
be called
about
Resident Evil
Biohazard. You said like everything, and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, I nailed that one.
That's the best prediction anybody's ever had. But if Metal Gear Remake gets announced,
that should be worth like 2 points.
Yeah, that should be worth 10.
That's automatic win if you get that.
Yeah. Oh dear God. We've got
no Half-Life 3 prediction.
I'm giving up on that. I don't even have a PC that could play it at this point.
That's true.
We would have to just be released on PS4 and Xbox at this point, which I think they probably would. Like Valve, why not just put it out on PS4 and Xbox One as well too? You still get a cut of just do that. But no Half-Life 3 for me, or Portal 3 for that matter. That's it. We've been going long enough. I'm not going to do Did You Know because I'm actually kind of running out of them on my list, and I need to refresh that list before I do them again. So
Fair
that
enough.
has been it for episode 138. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you got any crazy, wild, and wacky, wet, and
Inflatable
wild,
arm filling tube men.
yes, predictions, hit that comment section down below. Post them there. Obviously, you can find us at nerd901.com. So go over there to check out everything that we, Nick, and Ernie, and Adam, and everybody else is doing over at Nerd901. Obviously, you can find us on Twitter. I'm at Kevin White 24. He's at Real Sean White. Together, we're at 2player_co-op. If you like audio, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, and other audio services around the multiverse. We have a Facebook page that we never update. We did get 3 views this week.
Views.
Thank you so much for whoever you people are. I'm sorry that you're kind of bored there. We don't ever post there. You should come over to youtube.com/2playercoop and subscribe there. This has been a fun episode. Next week's episode might go up like a day late. I don't know. We probably won't record till Tuesday night, I would guess, if you're free, because that's after Nintendo does their stuff and their Treehouse Live and everything. I don't want it. In the past, we've done like a Sunday recap and a Monday recap. Life's too crazy right now to do all that.
Yeah.
So it might go up a day late next week. We'll be there. Don't worry. But I'm excited for E3, even though Sony's not going to be there. Who knows? They might just drop a freaking Last of Us trailer by the time this goes live. And
Maybe.
say, oh, you know what? And it's out November 1st, a week before Death Stranding. Who knows? But hey, until the next time, Sean, go ahead, take us out.
Thank you for playing.